Hi, Karina. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm so glad that you could join us today. Just for everybody watching, we're going to be filming 5 Minutes Unedited with Ann Wehren. That's correct, right? Wehren? That's how you say it? Yes, love it. And Ann is the buying director and also a consultant for retailers and for brands. So I thought it would be amazing to just speak to Anne about the situation, as obviously, retailers and brands are going through tough times right now, as everyone else is. We're going to talk about things that both parties could do better and how this can be improved, and just would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yes, amazing. So, as always, it's going to be 5 minutes. I'm going to turn on the timer and then we can start.
Right.
Great. So tell us a little bit more about what you do and what that means.
Certainly. So I'm the buying director of 45106, which is the area within 4510 stores for emerging, independent, and all gender fashion. And I oversee that area. I manage the budget and the designers that we partner with. And I'm also responsible for making sure that product sells. So partnering closely with the designers, having them support us with events, and working to make sure that our clients are loving what we have.
That's amazing. And can you summarize, kind of tell us more about what's happening in the industry right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Obviously, it's a horrible moment. People are dying. People's businesses are failing. It's a horrific crisis.
Yeah.
I think that when designers can kind of stop the bleeding, and if they have the freedom to take a pause and take a moment for reflection on their own businesses, I think we have been given an incredible gift to take this time to get off of the wild roller coaster of the fashion calendar and use this moment to reflect and reset and even fantasize about what we want the future to look like. And for a designer, I think that can mean what creatively is going to make you the most fulfilled. And how can you distill what you want to create into product that you're going to put out into the world. So really being intentional about what are we putting out into the world? Why?
Yeah.
Who's making it? How is it being made? Where are the materials coming from? Who is this for? Who is this intended for? Can you broaden your potential client base by appealing to a broader range of people and having a more inclusive collection? And once you're ready to refocus on what your business is going to look like after this, I think that designers can start to communicate those messages and start to take steps, whatever step feels right to get you closer to that dream fantasy of where you want to go. Take what steps you can today. Start to tell the story to your audience of why you do what you do, what inspires you, why creating the products you do, how are they created. You can profile the artisans that are making them. You can talk about the materials and where they come from. And through this conversation, you can develop hopefully a broader audience, authentically, or an organic following for what you're doing without necessarily pushing product. If you're in a space where it doesn't feel right to you to push to product at this time.
Yeah. That's really helpful. I feel like my next question was going to be like what retailers could focus on right now, but it's probably very similar to what you're recommending to brands.
Very, very similar. What do we want to be putting out there? How much? I think there's a layer, a financial layer for both designers and stores to look at how we can make the profit we need to have a viable business, particularly with less stuff. So creating less volume and fewer markdowns, and hopefully higher net margins.
Yeah. So is that how you feel the industry is going to be changing after this? Or like, what do you see the industry being like?
I hope so. I'm optimistic. There are a lot of conversations about things moving towards a more buy now, wear now calendar, a delivery and market cycle that feels better to everyone, a longer full price selling period.
Our timer went off, but I'm not going to interrupt you. No, keep going. This is great.
I'm excited by the conversations that are happening around the shift in the fashion calendar and moving towards more of a buy now, wear now delivery system. And I think just fewer markets, hopefully less product and more full price selling.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you see? Have you seen some really good collaborations between brands and retailers? Like, how do you see the partnerships growing, and like, what is a good partnership in these really trying times?
I think that the strength of partnership right now is truly being tested. Yeah. I think what's happening now is that everyone is in crisis mode, and I think stores and retailers need to be considerate of one another's businesses and support each other the best way they can, so that not the burden of what's happening isn't all weighted on one side of the business. I think everyone's it, right? But going forward, that's how the best partnerships work between retailers and designers. There needs to be solid communication and support and a lot of partnership in terms of making sure that the product sells. I think working with stores where you can engage directly with their sales staff, directly with their end client to understand who that is extremely helpful. The days of shipping product and turning a blind eye to see if it sells or not we have to be all engaged from the runway through to when it's in a woman's closet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ann. This was this is really, really helpful. I think that all of us have the hope that, this will lead to stronger partnerships instead of the opposite.
Yes. And a lot of reasons to be hopeful, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a good way to get in touch with you and kind of follow along your ideas about the whole situation?
Certainly. I think that Instagram is probably the best way right now. My Instagram is Wehren Pants, and it's WEHRENPANTS.
Awesome. I will link Instagram under the video as well. Thank you so much for your time and for your expertise. This was super helpful.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on.